the Kickstand Romanian deadlift with a rotation. I talked about these the other day, just very briefly, and I just wanted to break it down a little bit more. This is a movement that I've taken from Susan at present tense _ coaching. And I used it this morning with somebody who was having difficulty feeling one of their glutes within a hip thrust variation. And so often the issue when people, and we see this a lot in dance populations, this is a former dancer that I was working with this morning, but we see this a lot in dance populations where they can feel one glute but not the other. And often the issue with the glute that they can't feel working is they're having trouble finding length on that side. And so this is where the kickstand Romanian deadlift with the rotation can be super beneficial. So I'm gonna take my kettlebell here. This right side is the side that's working. I'm gonna actually put my hand on my butt and I wanna feel actually the length in that glute. So this is the side I'm working. So glute and hamstring. This kickstand stance, so the back heel is off the ground. And as I push into hip flexion, I'm gonna rotate the kettlebell toward that foot. And then when I reach the end range, which is determined not by bending over, but by the hip flexion. So I've reached the end range. I can't push any farther based on the length of my hamstrings and glutes. And then I stand back up. Hinge into position, feel that length in the glute. Stand back up. So I said that the depth is not determined by just bending over. What I mean by that is, once I reach my end range of my glutes and hamstrings, if I were to go lower than this, then I'm gonna be borrowing from my low back. And so that's definitely something I don't want, especially in that twisted position. So I'll show it to you from this angle here. So if you're having trouble feeling your glutes in sort of like hip thrust or glute bridge exercises, give that Romanian deadlift with a twist a try and see if you can, just even having that manual feedback of your own hand, see if you can find length in your glutes. Because as always, we need to be able to lengthen a muscle in order to strengthen it. So give that a shot.